New York's Grand Central Terminal took 10 years to build. It handles around 750,000 people a day. For over a century, it was the gold standard of railway stations, the most iconic transit hub in the world. China just built something that makes it look like a bus stop. Chongqing East Railway Station covers 1.22 million square meters. That is more than 170 football fields, more than 5 times the size of Grand Central. It has 8 levels stacked above and below ground, 15 platforms, 29 tracks, shopping malls, hotels, offices, and 4 metro lines all inside one single building. At peak hours, it processes 16,000 passengers every single hour. And China built the entire thing in 38 months. This is not just a train station. This is what happens when a country decides to stop building infrastructure and start building cities around infrastructure. The city that made this necessary, Chongqing, is a city most people outside China have never heard of, despite having a population of over 30 million people. More than Australia, more than Malaysia. An entire country's worth of people living inside one Chinese municipality. The city sits in southwest China, carved into mountains and river valleys along the Yangtze and Jialing rivers. It is visually stunning, steep hills rising from the water, endless layers of bridges connecting ridges and districts across the terrain. But that same geography that makes it beautiful has always made it brutally difficult to connect. Roads twist and climb. Districts are separated by terrain that acts like natural walls. Rail lines had to wind through valleys and cut through mountains, making trips long and unreliable. When China's high-speed rail revolution accelerated through the 2000s and 2010s, Chongqing gained faster connections, with Chongqing North Station becoming the main hub. It helped, but not enough. The population kept growing. Travel demand kept rising. Chongqing North became chronically overwhelmed during peak travel seasons. Expanding it was complicated and expensive because of the terrain surrounding it. Meanwhile, China's central planners were running 2 massive national strategies at the same time: the Chengdu-Chongqing Twin City Economic Circle, designed to make these 2 cities the economic engine of all of Western China, and the 8 vertical, 8 horizontal high-speed rail grid, which would eventually connect every major city in the country. Chongqing sat at the natural crossroads of multiple planned routes on that grid. But without a much larger hub to anchor those connections, the city could not take full advantage of where it sat. In 2019, the decision was made. Construction began in 2022. 38 months later, the doors opened. What won? 22 million square meters actually looks like walking into Chongqing East for the first time. The scale takes a moment to register. 8 levels. The upper decks hold 15 platforms and 29 tracks, handling both high-speed and conventional rail. Below that, entire floors dedicated to metro lines, bus terminals, parking structures, and commercial spaces. At peak capacity, 16,000 passengers move through every single hour, hundreds of thousands in a single day. The roof alone covers 120,000 square meters and weighs over 16,500 tons. It is held up by giant tree-shaped columns inspired by Chongqing's city tree, the Guangzhou. Those branching structures are not just architectural decoration. They channel natural light through skylights built into the canopy, reducing the station's dependence on artificial lighting throughout the entire day. Now put the size in perspective. Grand Central Terminal in New York is 190,000 square meters. Nagoya Station in Japan, one of the largest in Asia, is around 410,000. Guangzhou South, one of China's own busiest stations, is about 615,000 square meters. Chongqing East is 1.22 million. It more than doubles the previous record holder in China. Some stations handle more total daily passengers. Tokyo's Shinjuku processes enormous volumes, but they do it through multiple separate buildings spread across a wide area. Chongqing East is one single continuous structure combining transportation, retail, offices, hotels, and urban life under one roof. There is nothing else like it on Earth. How they built it in 38 months, building something the size of a small city in just over 3 years, sounds unrealistic. But that is exactly what happened, and the way it was done is as impressive as the building itself. The challenges started immediately. Chongqing summers are brutal, regularly exceeding 40 degrees Celsius. The terrain required massive earthworks just to level the site before a single column could go up. And then there was the roof, 120,000 square meters of steel and glass, all of it needing to be lifted and locked into precise positions safely above an open concourse below. To hit the deadline, the project ran on automation at a scale most construction sites in the world have never seen. Laser-guided bulldozers graded the land to millimeter-level precision. Screeding robots leveled concrete continuously through the extreme heat, keeping work moving without putting workers at direct risk. Glass installation robots lifted 800-kilogram panels into exact position without human hands guiding them. AI-powered safety patrol bots moved through the site around the clock, identifying hazards before they became accidents. The results were measurable. Work efficiency tripled compared to traditional construction methods. Labor costs were cut by nearly half. Heat-related accidents were kept to a minimum across the entire 38-month build. The station's design also used Chongqing's natural elevation intelligently. Platforms sit on an elevated deck with concourses, metro connections, and commercial space built beneath the tracks, a bridge plus building structure. This approach created nearly 400,000 square meters of usable space under the rail lines, shortened walking distances for passengers, and saved over 20 hectares of land compared to a conventional flat layout. A station that builds a city around itself, Chongqing East, wasn't built just to move passengers. It was built to reshape where the city grows next. The station anchors a brand new 3.5 square kilometer urban district, offices, hotels, retail, and public spaces all rising around it. Live, work, shop, and travel, all in one place. 4 metro lines plug directly into the building. Once all 4 are running, you can go from the suburbs to a high-speed train without ever stepping outside. And those trains go everywhere. Southeast Coast, Shanghai, Northeast corridors. Chongqing East sits directly on China's national rail grid, every direction, one building. For Western China, this isn't just convenient. It's transformational. A region historically cut off by mountains can now reach the entire country in hours. What the rest of the world is doing, Chongqing East also meets China's highest 3-star green building standard. Solar panels generate electricity across parts of the roof. Skylights reduce artificial lighting demands during daylight hours. A centralized heating and cooling system serves the entire surrounding district. Rainwater is collected and reused on site. Smart climate controls adjust automatically based on real-time occupancy levels throughout the building. Because the station integrates so deeply with metro and bus networks, fewer arriving passengers need a car at all, directly reducing congestion and emissions across the surrounding urban area. Meanwhile, America's response to aging transit infrastructure has been decades of debates, delayed projects, and spectacular cost overruns. New York's Penn Station, which handles more passengers per day than any station in North America, has been called an embarrassment for years. Serious renovation discussions have been going on since the 1990s. Decades of meetings. Very little concrete. China broke ground in 2022. By 2025, the largest train station on Earth was open and fully operational. The question is no longer whether China builds fast. The question is what they build next. Drop your answer in the comments. If your city had a station like this, what would change about daily life? Subscribe and hit the bell. Next one is already on its way.